Greetings, fellow Sling agents in the wild, and welcome back to the show. Like promised, we have our newest season, Borrowed Souvenirs, locked and loaded for you. But, as always, gotta get to the shoutouts. Our first goes out to Of Steam, Steel, and Murder, who says, what we are all thinking, welcome back. Thank you, SSNM. It's great to be back. Next, we have from good friend of the show, Henry Anderson, who says, thank you, guys. Henry, thank you. And I'm glad to see you're still with us. Glad to see you're still hanging. That's awesome. And finally, from Tom Austin 303, who says, and I quote, so pumped to have the Hardslingers back on my feed. You nuts are a breath of fresh air among a herd of whiners playing DG to work out their wounded inner child. Roll the Hard 20 is fun, scary, and poignant in just the right ratios, and I always know you're gonna deliver maximum entertainment when I hear that stirring theme music announce the episode. Damn, brother. Thank you from the bottom of the grave where my inner child rests. No, but seriously, thank you. You know, we strive to put out material that we'd like to listen to, and it just so happens we're not alone. In fact, there are many like-minded agents in the wild that want to hear the same things we do. And again, thank you, brother. We do this for all of you, for all of us. No lies detected. Real quick, before we do what we gotta do, I had inquired during the last episode's intro if there were any published scenarios you agents in the wild would like to hear us run, or if you'd prefer us to continue full bore with our homebrewed scenarios. And yes, I still have quite a few scenarios outlined and ready to put on blast, so that being said, let me know in the comments or email me over at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com, and I'll get back, or we'll move forward, or we'll just keep on hollowing out what we have in our homebrewed catalog. All right, enough talking. Let's get to brass taxes and warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 presents episode 1 of our homebrewed scenario, Borrowed Souvenirs. Enjoy.
I was wondering if I was out on the limb here with this expectation, or if I was just a stick in the mud and time has passed me.
No, you're good. I mean, 100% agreement with that. I don't, Sam?
There's brothers. All the rest are strangers.
We're brothers. All the rest are others.
I'm really enjoying my beer D20. Yeah. Nah. Well, this is the real first game I get to christen it in, so.
That's not true. The 7th day you got to use it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that will be the interlude between last season and this season. So let me warm us up and ring us in. And
Got it.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20. It is I, your trusted liaison, Brian, and with me, my hard slingers of yore.
Greetings.
Our newest season, Borrowed Souvenirs. Time right now, 11:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Each. It's been a little more than 24 hours since your venture to Ancestral Branches Incorporated in search of information that still eludes you. You sent Nicholas James on his way and arranged for a session with Tengu-sama. Face down on the tatami in the warehouse below your loft, several candles illuminate the faces of 2 men that are off on your peripheral. Your back burns with the precision of his skilled hands as the ink spreads under your epidermis. Tell me what you're having Tengu-sama bring to life on the canvas that is you.
Well, what I would like him to try to bring back, though it's been many, many years now that this has worked, is a symbol of the Kimura clan, which would be the symbol of an octopus with each of its tentacles ending in the head of a dragon.
That's interesting. The old man stands up, his joints creaking and popping as he pulls away from you. Shocked, he draws in a sharp breath.
Kimura-san, the Irozumi, it remains. I believe we have found the right mixture of silver to sumi.
He pulls away from you, his instruments dangling in his gnarled, arthritic hands. And you see the two men that were just outside of the candlelight stand up and move forward. It's Makamura and your son Kage. They look at you, they look at your back, and both of them have expressions of wonder on their face.
Tengu-sama, a mirror, please. Was that Makamura?
Don't be racist.
Tengu-sama, a mirror, please.
He moves off to the side, brings in this highly polished piece of metal. Not a regular mirror, but an old school one. He angles it towards you so you could see your back over your shoulder looking into it. And you see this large octopus with these tentacles that end in a dragon's head looking concentrically towards one another around this octopus.
Tengu-sama, so it appears that the ink is staying. I have felt different for a while now. It appears that whatever rage was consuming me potentially has gone away, finally. And your treatments now, perhaps they'll work. We'll have to see tomorrow night if the ink still stays, if the image is still as clear as it is now. I pray to all my ancestors in the clan that it does.
I don't understand how it can be there. It doesn't fade at all. Have you felt different these past weeks?
I believe that when I fell, I truly did die, but whatever spirit that was within me, that feral spirit that I got a long time ago in the Wasatch Mountains, I feel that that burnt itself out, fighting for survival. And while it died, it allowed me to live.
He looks away, and as he looks away, your phone begins to vibrate.
Gentlemen, a moment, please. And I will bow to them, and I will turn and take the phone and go answer it a little bit away, not trying to have them not hear, but just not to be impolite and talk on the phone when they're all around me.
Each.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to put some things off to the side.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm currently stitching together your partner for this operation. You'll hear back from me in about 10 minutes.
I'll be here.
Out. As you turn around, you see that your son Kage is right behind you.
Chichoya, who was that?
It is a friend of mine. More of an employer than a friend, but a friend nonetheless.
Are you going away again?
I will let you know in about 10 minutes, but I believe so. But not for long.
If there's trouble, I should be by your side.
I'll need you here. A Kimura must hold control over our domain.
But Tengu-sama, Makamura, they can watch over.
I said a Kimura.
Hey,
They will be your right and left hands.
for years you have shunned me. And now you're back in my life. I should be doing this with you, but
One day, son, you will know everything. But until then, you must practice and prepare and be ready.
hey, I understand, Chichuya.
11:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Odesso. Once again, you sit at your desk, Woodford bottle close by, and you sit in reflection. It's been little more than 24 hours since your private excursion to the San Pedro docks. Following cryptic entries scribbled on a torn page from a day planner, you found yourself standing before a ship that shouldn't be there. The Aqua Fortune. It was there that you encountered a man known as Commander Marcus Razor, who led a group of operators that had just dealt with something unknown. A call from Heisenberg ended this tense moment, but left you with no answers as the operators left aboard a submersible. Looking back on that moment, tell me what you did after those men left.
I called Heisenberg, trying to get information about what was going on, especially since these guys came, they left, and they seemed to be attached to the agency. One of the things that went through my mind was, how in the hell is the Aqua Fortune floating and tied pierside in San Pedro? We sunk it. And if it's still there, is everything else that was on that ship still there? Did they bring that stuff back too? Because that was a huge problem. And so for our listeners, there was this alien spaceship and alien corpses on that boat. We made sure it went to the bottom to cover up any of that stuff. And now it's back with no explanation.
And the phone rang and rang and rang, and nobody answered on the other end.
So I had a bunch of questions, but of course no answers. And I wanted to take a closer look at the Aqua Fortune to see if it bore signs of salvage. You know, seaweed clinging to it, barnacles on the superstructure that would ordinarily not have sea life or anything on there. But it was too dark to make out. I would like to board the Aqua Fortune and see if I can tell if someone had brought it up from the bottom, or if it looks like it's a temporal anomaly.
You make your way aboard the Aqua Fortune, and it's very familiar. Everything's there exactly how it was when you were aboard it in the Alaskan Sea. I imagine you go around the backside towards the stern where that disc was at.
Yes.
And you don't see any marks on the deck.
No tie-down locations, no...
Well, there are
nothing
cleats and whatnot,
yeah.
But there's nothing that looks like it's ever been tied down or scraped along the deck of this boat.
Is there barnacles or any other sea life on the superstructure, the deck, or anything? Stuff that was not submerged, or that shouldn't have been submerged that was?
No, in fact, it doesn't look like this boat has ever been submerged, never been below the waterline at all. It looks, for all intents and purposes, like it's a fully seaworthy vessel.
Is it the same Aqua Fortune, or just another ship of the same line and a different... Like someone renamed it. Well, we lost the Aqua Fortune. This is actually the Aqua Fortune 2. It's the same, another ship in the series, just another one. I'd have to go and probably go to the bridge and take a closer look to see if it's just, yeah, we love the Aqua Fortune as a name because it's cool. So we decided to name another ship of the same series the same thing. So I'll go to the bridge, since there's nothing on the deck.
Okay, you make your way to the bridge. And as you're walking along towards the bow, you notice that everything looks identical. Like it doesn't look like anything's damaged to it.
I'll look for signs of any struggle that I know would have been there. I know we got into a shootout on a stairwell. So
yeah, and that stairwell was on the starboard side of the boat, leading up to the wheelhouse itself. As you make your way up the stairs towards the wheelhouse, you see that it looks normal. The window that had been shot out in the door is still there. And as you look through the portal into the bridge, you see that there is a man in there. Looks to be in his 50s. Looks like he's kind of going over some nautical maps or whatnot, checking some gauges. And
okay, I politely knock on the door with showing my FBI credentials.
The man looks up. You see he's got a well-groomed short beard. And he walks over towards the door halfway, and he kind of motions towards you to enter.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So I'll open the door and enter. Do I notice anything like it's been cleaned up. You know, a submerged ship will be very, very dirty.
Yeah, you see that the interior looks completely dry. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. It looks normal, very clean, no water lines or anything. You see there's a large map on the back, and it does look like it incorporates the Alaskan Sea, which is a far cry from where you guys currently are. And he looks at you and he says, Agent, is there something I could be of assistance with? Do you need some help?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm on a special detachment with the United States Customs and Enforcement. I think there's an error in my paperwork. I was told that the Aqua Fortune, under this particular line company, had been lost at sea. And now here I am seeing that it's the Aqua Fortune. So I'm just wondering if this is another ship of the same series that's just happened to be renamed Aqua Fortune. If there must be an error in my paperwork.
Yeah, I think so, Agent. My name is Captain Lester Hampton, and I've been the captain of this vessel for 8 years. Make a history check.
History check.
8 years, huh?
43. And my history is a 50, so I made it.
You remember that Captain Lester Hampton was one of the casualties when the Mayday was sent out. That he is supposed to have been dead. In fact, you remember seeing his body in the bilge below. And he looks identical to the body you saw when you uncovered it, with the exception that this guy is alive.
Okay, as this realization, as Polly gets a little closer to him and looks and goes, holy shit, Lester.
It's Captain Hampton to you, Agent.
Of course, Captain Hampton.
Call me Lester.
Captain Hampton, I have a strange feeling we've met before. Have we? You probably some of the maritime circles that I run in. I'm formerly of the United States Navy. It's just so strange to. I could have sworn we've met.
I'm sorry, Agent. I don't recall ever meeting you. Anytime I have to deal with anybody from the government, I tend to lock in their features and face and their name, and I don't remember ever seeing you.
If I could inquire, what is your next voyage? What are you guys doing next?
I'm sorry, I know you are a government agent, but that is classified. In fact, he kind of moves away from the back wall, so your attention's on him, not on the map. And he says, I'm really sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have invited you in. Maybe I should have gone outside to see you, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave, Agent. This is a classified mission.
I understand. That was the source of my initial function. I understand that you're going to be tasked with an underwater recovery of a particular item, which is why
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, Agent. I'm sorry. And as he's explained this, you see a man come into the wheelhouse behind you. And it's crewman Pedro Gomez.
If memory serves, he was the main bad guy.
That's memory serving you. But he doesn't come across as that. He just comes in.
No, he comes across as a regular dude.
Yeah, he comes in, he grabs a clipboard, and he's making some marks, part of the checklist. And he looks at the captain. He says, we're already below decks, Captain. Let me know when you're ready to put out. And he leaves the wheelhouse.
One last question, Captain. Are you expected to get underway this evening?
Within the next 2 hours, yes.
Thank you and Godspeed. And then Polly just turns and leaves.
Looking back on that moment, the mental attrition is real. As you sit in your office, mulling over this remembered encounter with Captain Hampton, your phone begins to vibrate. You look at the clock next to your phone. It says 11:55 a.m. The caller ID says H.
I answer.
Adesso, hold one as I conference in a second party. Each. Down in your warehouse below your loft, in the presence of Kage, Makamura, and Tengu-sama, you hear a beep on your phone as you're conferenced in with Heisenberg and Adesso.
All right, I'll look over to my friends there and say, a moment, please, and I'll walk away once again, not trying to hide anything, but not to be rude.
Gentlemen, I hope time finds you well, but I need you again. Less than an hour ago, 5 men were murdered in a museum in Portland, Maine. The report, which came across the desk of one of our associates, was forwarded to me due to the nature of the deaths and their location. I want eyes on this stat. We have a private charter waiting on the tarmac at Orange County that'll take you to Portland, Maine. Once you arrive at your destination, give me a sit rep and what your next play is. I'm texting you your destination now. As your phone blings, you see the text that comes up says, "The Cryptozoology Museum of Truth."
Got it.
By 12:50 Pacific Standard Time, you've made it through private security at Orange County Airport, and they escort both of you to the air bridge leading to a private jet. As the two of you make your way on board the jet and nestle in your seats, you see that the jet is completely devoid of any other passengers with the exception of a stewardess. The cabin door is closed. As you two sit and the plane takes off, the cabin grows dim and quiet except for the hum of the engines. Tell me what you'd like to do.
Each, good to see you again. Looking a little weathered.
Well, it's been quite a ride.
I can imagine.
I have a tale for you, but glamour me with what you have first.
And then Polly proceeds to tell him what happened with the Aqua Fortune and the fact that he did a thorough investigation. And his conclusion is it's a temporal anomaly. Like the ship had somehow come back in time and he was able to. That's his conclusion. Nothing else makes any sense. And while that would sound like the ravings of a madman to anybody else, he knows each is going to look at that.
That's Thursday.
That's just a normal day. That's a Tuesday.
Well, you remember that post-it note that was on the day planner said the temporal field displacement device has been reactivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say something must have happened because one of them was already dead, and I personally put the other one down. So either this is from another time or an alternate timeline dimension. Who knows? So what happened with me, the reason why I look maybe a little different, and each will make sure the flight attendant is the preferred nomenclature handler.
She's nowhere around.
He'll unbutton his shirt and display part of the tattoo that seems to have taken to him. The crest of the Kimura clan, which is an octopus with its 8 tentacles ending in a dragon head, forming sort of a circle. Yeah, so I will show Adesso the place where I got the tattoo and say, something seems to have happened, but a lot changes when you die and come back. And I'll just kind of stare at him there and go, do you want to hear the rest of the story?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, from what I can account for, I fought this beast, an alien, and I died. But then I woke up and I'm in like a healing tube. I remember this sort of thing and breaking out and like running naked away from this place and waking up in my bed. Like I had dreams of that. I don't remember doing it, but I woke up in my place with dreams of this. And that lycanthropy, that feral spirit I have seems to be gone. Like, I don't know if when I died, it burned itself out, keeping me alive or what, but then the trials that I had with Tengu-sama, trying to find a ink that will counter this spirit, he either found a cure for it or I no longer have that. I don't have this bloodlust anymore. I don't feel this red rage and this hunger for blood anymore. So dying might have cured it, or getting to that breaking point where I would have died had not this wolf spirit fought to survive. But in its fight, it seems to have burnt itself out because I don't feel that hunger and that rage anymore. Which I don't know if I'm happy about or sad, because I liked that about me.
Gotcha. You're not reacting to silver anymore, or no issues with that?
Well, my body is not regenerating anymore. Like when I would get that, for the listeners who haven't heard the old episodes, I would try to keep completing my Yakuza suit tattoo, and it would take for a moment and then fade away because this healing factor from this werewolf's bite was in my body. And so that's what I think prevented me from dying, was this healing factor. But it seems like it's gone. Maybe it's just dormant and it's growing back, healing itself, or I don't know. This is the first time we've played since since that happened. So
have you basked under the moonlight just to see what happens?
yes, naked in my loft every night, but that's mostly just so I can give tribute to the city, you know.
So, 2 hours and 11 minutes later, you're landing at Portland Airport. Time right now, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time, adjusted for time change. Portland, Maine is an old city set on a peninsula extending into Casco Bay. Full of Victorian-era homes with river and mountain views, Portland is history. By the time you land at the airport, procure a car, and finally arrive at the Cryptozoology Museum of Truth, it's 6:25 in the evening. Sitting on Thompson's Point, a peninsula that extends into the Fore River, you can see the intermittent lights of planes approaching and departing the Portland Airport just across the water, the same airport you just came from. You see several police cars are parked in front of the museum, with 2 officers standing in front of the entrance.
Well, a moment before we go and engage with them, Adesso, what all have you heard aside from what Heisenberg has told us? Is anything? 5 murdered men? Do we know how they're dead?
Nothing. He gave me the same information you did. It was just, he didn't give me anything extra. I was hoping he had given you something extra, because it looks like 5 guys dead, and there's obviously something putting us in. Something's obviously up, so we'll figure that out.
I'm sure you'll be able to spin something to the officers as to why the FBI needs to be involved in this, so I'll follow your lead, Adesso. It's good to be back.
Just out of curiosity, what is your field outfit like? What's your equipment?
Well, it would have been a plain suit, dark blue pants.
No, you're misunderstanding me. What are you taking with you?
Oh, my Delta Elite 10 millimeter loaded with those cool Winchester silvers, just in case I come in contact with another cryptid. I had figured this out the last time, so yeah, that's what's in there. 180 grain silver jacketed hollow point. So,
Okay.
With 2 extra mags.
Each?
And, well, I have my sidearm being my Glock, and then I have my jack blade.
No, you don't.
I'm just kidding. I have my. No, I was just seeing if I could get away with it. I have my the tube, the whatever that I carry, along with my katana, as well as some other blade type weapons like my tanto and things like that.
Okay. As you approach the doors, one of the officers steps in front and pretty much stops you from proceeding any further.
All right. Let's do this, Adesso.
So we walk on up there, and I'll flash the FBI credentials. Paulie Adesso and Ichimura, we're from the FBI. Who is the agent, or who is the officer in charge here?
Oh, agents, that would be Detective Frank Faulkner.
Gotcha. And
If
where is he?
Oh, he's back there in the furthest exhibit. If you just follow the exhibition path, it'll lead you there. He's been back there for a few hours, and it looks like, I know he's still going over the crime scene. I'll go ahead and radio ahead and let him know to expect you.
Gotcha. Thank you, officer. I appreciate that. We'll get under the tape and start walking back like we know exactly what we're doing.
And like we have a reason to be there.
Exactly.
You can kind of hear the squelch of the walkie as he starts relaying that information to the recipient further in. As you enter the Cryptozoology Museum of Truth and begin your walk, you cannot help but be amazed. The interior is laid out on rich, dark wood floors with darkened ceilings to give one the impression of traversing the unknown. Crimson velvet ropes block off mahogany doors with brass fixtures and marble placards that separate the individual exhibits. Showcasing its inventory of exotic exhibitions, the Cryptozoology Museum of Truth boasts the rarest, if not some of the only, specimens that derive from the fantastic.
Just as we're walking through, do we get a feeling that any of this stuff is from the beyond? Just like we walk by, like we would, obviously we're attuned to things like Eugene the Wines' work. So if like we walk by and we look at stuff and we look, oh, this is junk, or it's interesting, but it's junk, or oh shit, that's something real over there. That's a genuine article. That's a problem. Do we just get a feel for that as we're walking through, or is this just a collection of interesting geedunk and junk?
I'm going to let you make that decision, and I'm going to describe this for you as you're making your way deeper, and you let me know what you think. You see what is described as a horn from a unicorn adorned with dried crimson. Another exhibit contains the hair from what the marble placard describes as a Bigfoot, with a full-scale mannequin to represent such a creature, as well as several prints cast in plaster and clumps of dark hair with pulpish remains of roots at their base. As you continue on, there's a glass-encased credenza lit by a black light, and inside you see a set of teeth right beside the mummified, possibly burned remains of a small bipedal creature. A weathered placard proclaims it to be the dead offspring of a mistwalker. There's an old-time black and white photograph of a man with slick black hair in a dark suit in a candid state, perhaps unaware his picture had been taken. Further along are several naval maps alongside crystal cabinets, nautical compass, an anchor, and a monocular device all represent several items pulled from a shipwreck, as well as 9 fist-sized bluish-green scales believed to derive from a mermaid, possibly the cause of such a tragedy. Looking into one of the partitioned rooms shows 3 taxidermied 4-legged animals with goblin-esque maws encircling a mannequin representing a downed woman, the Chupacabra exhibit. The corridor begins to narrow ever so slightly, giving one a sense of being closed in upon. And lining the walls as you venture further into the museum are several pictures of an old, large house. Penciled in the margin of the mat of one of the pictures says, 2002, Mohanning River, Warren, Ohio. The eerie picture shows several young girls, all around 14 years old, dressed in long, earth-tone dresses, but their faces are dirty and their eyes look vacant. 2 men stand on either side of the collection of 8 girls, each with a knife at their belt. They look to be obsidian blades. I want you to make an observation check as you two are going and observing this picture.
Is that the one from Little Treasures?
09.
71 under 72.
Close.
Right on.
I almost critically succeeded because I almost failed.
One of the girls looks like a very young Abigail Murphy, the director and owner of Abby's Little Treasures Daycare.
Right.
Meaning this picture would have been taken 26 years ago when she had been abducted as a teenager.
And the obsidian knives, they look anything like our favorite obsidian knives that keep showing up?
It's hard to tell. It's a black and white photo.
Well, not many obsidian knives are. We're not running into confusion by so many different ones that we see. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure if it's her, then it is all connected. Yeah, remember we never figured out like what happened with that, but she told us that she was.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She told us she was abducted, and then that was it. We never got more than that. Wow.
As you continue to walk the dimly lit museum, you pass one corner that's been roped off with a chain. Nestled in the back, with a singular spotlight shining down on it, is a 7-foot-tall sealed glass edifice that contains what the placard describes as a living essence. A slight harmonics humming can be heard emanating from the object. And just beyond that, with its doors closed, and for those VIP members with special clearance, a look at the still under construction alien exhibit. Other curios display a variety of talisman, artifacts, and relics. There's even 2 obsidian blades in a frame on a wall. Unlike previous obsidian blades you may have seen in the past, the handles of these are wrapped in a yellow cloth. In short, Adesso, it is a museum that houses the fossils and remains of cryptids. Your trek through the museum eventually comes to an end at a door with crime tape barricading any further progress. A crystal placard reads, "Coming soon, the Himalayan experience." And as you approach, an officer stationed beside the door lifts up the tape and opens the door for you.
Okay. No chance to take a closer look at any of the other little things.
If you want to, you may put him on pause and say, "Hang on a second, officer, I need to go back and take a look at something real quick," if you wish.
I think we could look on the way out if we want to.
Yeah.
That's not as
That's
much
not
as
the
it's,
focus of this mission, yeah.
as much as it's interesting and all that. We got a time limit and all that. This is always the problem with Delta Green. It's like there's a fire and we can only save 3 of the 10 children.
Yeah.
You know, what's ironic also, as I would say, as you're reporting to put out a fire, other fires are starting. But those other fires are not the fire you were sent to put out.
And then there's a monster, and then someone gets shot, and then there's a werewolf. It's all, that's like, now it's Friday.
Put the money on top of the register. There's 2 levers.
3 levers, but go on.
You only said 2. The room hosting the Himalayan experience is a fascinating one. Or it would have been. The walls have been matte painted to resemble the Himalayan mountain range, with swirls of flurries painted about, mountain peaks in the distance, and treacherous clouds hanging close by. An audio track plays a haunting looted instrument, and an occasional unearthly howl threatens from the corners of the room. The soft lights, designed to mask what is real from what is fabricated, casts deep shadows, and a velvet rope partitions one side of the room where the exhibit would have been viewed had it not been destroyed. You see broken totems and torn tents lay on the floor on the other side of the velvet rope. Multicolored shaman robes resemble little more than ribbons, and wooden masks have been reduced to splinters. Dented and crushed camping gear lay about amongst less sturdy equipment that's been smashed into kindling, and everywhere is the chaotic pattern of crimson. You also see, unfazed by the carnage, 2 men. One, tall and lean, a ruffled white button-up shirt tucked into his khaki pants, and he's slowly rubbing his whiskered jowls in concentration. The other man, who's short and stout with an olive complexion and a bald head, is dressed in a black suit and tie and stands off to the side, checking his gold watch and watching the other man. When the tall man sees you enter, he stands up and he kind of like wipes his hands off on his shirt. He says, I'm Detective Frank Faulkner, Portland Police Department.
Nice to meet you.
This place is amazing. I got here a few hours ago, and my goodness, quite the place. Mr. Baldino, the museum's curator, with this he points to the other man, he was the one who called it in. Multiple victims down, and by the time the units got here, whoever had done this had already split. You're both agents, correct?
That's correct. I'm Special Agent Adesso. This is Special Agent Kimura. This particular event attracted some high visibility. It has some connections to some other similar type events happening in other jurisdictions of the country. We're here to determine if there's a crossover that could have been accomplished by the same person saying people, because it is rather unusual, as you can tell. Let me just ask, before I go and inspect, are the bodies dismembered?
They were. I've already sent those 5 bodies back to the medical examiner. He starts thumbing through his papers. Dr. Judy Matthews? Yes, is that what that says there, Mr. Baldino? Yes, it does. Yeah, Dr. Judy Matthews, medical examiner. I sent with her all the remains and a camera that I found here. I wasn't sure what the camera pertained to. I didn't know if there was any evidence on. So she's got all that, all the information. From what I could see, the 5 men who had been killed here had been setting up this exhibit after hours under the orders of a Mr. Kirk Holloway. I guess he's the millionaire who arranged all this exhibition. From what Mr. Baldino says, Mr. Holloway was planning on holding a private showing tomorrow for a few selected investors. Isn't that right, Mr. Baldino? The other man just kind of nods.
So, Mr. Baldino, you're the curator here. What were these guys unpacking?
Well, they were unpacking the parcels for the exhibit. The Himalayan experience.
The what experience?
The Himalayan experience.
What was in the box that they were unpacking?
Well, all of this stuff, of course. The tents, the camping gear, the masks and whatnot. I have a manifest of the stuff that Mr. Holloway had shipped to the museum. I could make that available for the 2 of you if you require it.
We would. As a curiosity, what time were these guys supposed to be finished?
Well, the exhibit wasn't due to start for another few days, but I'd imagine that they were setting up and getting it all prepared.
So this wasn't during working hours, was it?
Not for this back end. The door prevented any further patrons from going into the room. The door would be closed. At this, Detective Faulkner looks at him and says, did you agents know that the admission to this museum is reservation only? Is based on selection. Not everyone who tries to get in can.
So open only by invitation?
I don't think me and Mrs. Faulkner would be able to get in here, I'm not sure why. Because this damaged equipment arrived this way. Who would pay to see damaged equipment? This is what would be on display, the damaged equipment.
Yeah, I guess if they're trying to set up some sort of authentic display of something here, the equipment wouldn't be pristine. It wouldn't be out of the box if they're trying to set up a realistic display. You've seen on rides like in Disneyland and all Knott's Berry Farm, they have the authentic experience along with kids' songs. Detective, a moment, please, before we dive into the equipment here. With your expert knowledge, how does it appear that these men were murdered?
Well, when I showed up, apparently these were 5 men. From what I could gather from the pieces that were left behind, they were torn apart limb from limb. Head from torso, arms and limbs removed from the torso, torn apart at the joints. I don't think they were eaten, though. At least not their hearts. I don't believe so. You see, that's the second time you said that, Mr. Baldino. That raises something in my mind. And you see the detective jots something down in his notes.
Each kind of assumes a more lighthearted manner. Maybe when they were unboxing this thing, they released, what do you call, like a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. I never really could tell the difference between Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Yeti, never mind. Thank you.
That's clever.
And I'll just kind of look at the Mr. Baldino if any of that kind of lighthearted stuff kind of hits a little truth. And good job catching that, Tone.
I caught it. I just chose to ignore it.
You didn't understand it. All seriously goes. So something was torn. You think this is a cryptozoology museum, Mr. Baldino? Do you think they opened up something that maybe was trapped in there and that's what happened?
Well, I mean,
I know you're not a detective, but
no, it's possible that perhaps the men did this to themselves.
tore each other apart?
That's not improbable.
Passion?
We've seen it before. I mean, as it is, we've been unable to find Mr. Holloway, let alone his assistant, Mr. Wilkes. I mean, look at where we are. The exhibit was standing in. The Himalayan experience. Even though all this equipment had been damaged prior to being brought here to the museum, it had been damaged at some point. So what damaged it? I mean, but according to the manifest, and he reaches in his jacket, he pulls out this tri-folded piece of paper. There's nothing on the manifest that suggests they brought some creature along with it. That's ridiculous.
So in other words, this isn't some kind of stunt where somebody kills a bunch of people, stages the bodies in order to attract attention to this otherwise questionable exhibit.
I have no idea who would do something so foolish as that.
Well, these 5 employees, how long have they been working for your museum?
Well, they don't work for the museum. They worked for Mr. Holloway. They were part of his expedition team that brought all this stuff back.
Gotcha. Mr. Holloway. Do you have his contact information?
I do, but he hasn't been answering his phone. Nor has Mr. Wilkes.
All right. So we'd like to obviously talk to those individuals. And, Detective, did you happen to notice anything, before the bodies were boxed up, did you notice anything like claw marks, hair, fingernails, anything like that that would have given something away, even missing teeth or anything that would indicate that this was an animal rather than a human?
Nothing like that. No hair, no teeth, no fingernails or anything. But what was left of the bodies left something to be desired. It looked like somebody had ripped apart taffy.
Pulled apart by pure strength.
Possibly, the medical examiner would probably know more about that. I mean, the way that the bodies had been shredded and tore up, it's possible it could have been chewed. Maybe the chupacabra exhibit. Did you see that thing walking in here? It's very impressive. Mr. Baldino, I don't know where you get some of these exhibitions, but they're very, very unusual. Going to leave me with nightmares for weeks to come.
I must say, before I forget, Odessa, we're going to probably want to go to the medical examiners and take a look at those bodies. Lose a little bit of sanity, but I think it'll be worth it. And Mr. Baldino, I mean, how does this affect you, this sort of event happening to an exclusive museum? I mean, as the owner, I'm sure that this is going to affect you financially, let alone just spiritually, something like this. What do you plan to do?
Well, I think I'll be fine. As far as nobody else will see this room, I'll just close the door until we clean up the mess. Once the investigation is concluded, of course, Detective. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out. Yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll get more men down here. We'll help you clean this up if you need to. But first, we got to finish the investigation. Yes, of course. I'm not worried about my nightmares. I've been on several expeditions. I've lost several men in my youth due to all kinds of malevolent ways, cholera, traps from pyramids and whatnot. Quicksand.
Can I do a perception check on this guy to see if he's the real deal or just somebody?
And he dodged my question too.
Yeah,
I had
did.
Yeah, I said. So I'll do your perception check first.
Gotcha.
Observation, right?
Observation.
Yeah, observation. I got a 0.5. So I am observant today. Usually I fail these checks.
So tell me what you're looking for with Mr. Baldino here.
With this last statement, what goes through my mind is whether or not this guy's in the know. If he has seen things beyond the ether, or he's just some guy who's doing a job. The part is to foster the idea this stuff is authentic. There is something out there, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it, but whatever. Here it is. Or if he's one of those guys that goes, yeah, this is real. This is happening. And I understand what these are. I want to determine if he is in the know.
From what he's telling you, he definitely seems like he has been on expeditions, that he has lost men. What he's telling you, he really does believe. And you see The detective looks at the two of you, looks at Mr. Baldino and says, you know, I'm going to leave this to you two agents. I've actually got to get back to the station. I got to report to my captain. He's been wanting an update on this, so I want to get back to him. And if you need me, though, here's my card. Give me a call.
Got it. Thank you.
And he shakes hands with Mr. Baldino. Make an observation check.
Oh, you just used all my luck.
Probably.
60 under
I got a
72.
99.
Oh, that's a critical fail.
To make you negate his.
Yeah.
As you notice each, as he shakes the detective's hand, that Mr. Baldino has a ring on his little right finger that looks like 3 wind symbols consecutively going into each other. And I will see you
Heisenberg
guys
has?
next episode.
All right. Cool.
Now I'm going to take a brief moment for our listeners as they've listened to the intro to both of these amazing characters and award them both with a gold doubloon.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Now it's up to you who wants to get the one that says "fuck you" on it, and the one that doesn't. That was a callback to Koosh years ago. I gave him that because he demanded I give him a damn gold doubloon when we ran through one of the old ones. So whichever one you want gets the "fuck you" doubloon.
Koosh, that traitor,
Yes.
the abandon the rage room. I'll take it.
And just so our listeners know, when I go through the intros on these and I start asking my heart slingers of yore about what their character was doing or what they thought, I'm coming at them cold. They have to improv this shit on the fly. That's why they get the gold doubloon. Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support this show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can download the current show directly, pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.